Greetings, survivor. Great job not dying. To assist you in further survival in emergency situations, you have been issued this personal data assistant. The interface visible now will organize your inventory, display currently available construction blueprints, and holds other valuable information. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with it.
G'day chaps, welcome to Subnautica. Bet you weren't expecting this one. Neither was I. I got lucky. I was offered an evaluation key by the developers and obviously readily accepted that. Very happy with this. This is a fantastic game. Fantastic game. I've played a few hours, just a few hours. Not very much really. I just wanted to really get my head around the basic mechanics so I could jump in and play this with you. So today I have a little time and I'm going to be getting as far as I can get in this single playthrough with you. And I'll also try to explain a lot of the mechanics and the things I've learned while I'm playing this. I understand that a lot of you might not have played this either and you might be interested in it. So I'll explain what I'm doing, why I'm collecting what I'm collecting, like this guy. There's actually a very good reason for picking those up and for picking up this, yep, metal fragments. This will all become clear. What have I learned since I started playing? So I played about 3 hours just on my own time. I've watched a bit of a let's play to help get my head around it. Ooh.
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
I've learned that if you run out of oxygen, it's lights out. So you've got to be really careful of that. It's a fantastic game. It's in early access development, but it's kind of like The Long Dark. It's, even though it's a tiny bit buggy, it's very hard to grab these things. It's actually very well made. It's quite advanced. So yes, I would definitely recommend it. It's very much in a playable state, and yeah, I'm having a great time playing it. Let me show you some of the basics. I'll show you some of the basics. So you have this, you have your pod here, obviously, and the main two things you're going to need is this guy, so you can pick up your medical kits, and those medical kits, you get one every 30 minutes. And then you have this thing, the fabricator, and this fabricator is your this builds everything for you. So this is very, very important. This is where you can build your equipment, and it's also where you can build your tools. So this is the key, this one. And so there's a few things I need to get. The first one right here is oxygen tank. That's going to let me dive further for longer. Fins, that helps me get more speed in the water. And then I need the knife. The knife's very, very important. And the scanner. The scanner helps you pick up blueprints. And this guy here, the air bladder. Air bladder lets you rise to the surface quicker. So if you get into trouble, you can, if you're running out of oxygen, you can get to the top much more quickly. So as you can see, for this air bladder, and for this survival knife, and for my fins, all of these require rubber, so we're going to have to go and rubber's a priority.
Increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with ongoing degradation of the aurora's dark matter drive core due to damage sustained during collision. Continuing to monitor.
And then the two basic building blocks you have is this one here, titanium, and then the other one is glass. So titanium, you can pick that up either as a standalone resource, or you can get the metal salvage as I did. Glass comes from quartz, I'll show you that in a minute. And then you start moving on to the more advanced things like power cells and batteries. But let's deal with basic survival first. First, you have to, you can pick up fish and you can cook them like this. And to eat them, you just click on them like that. Eat. with the water, those funny looking fish I picked up called air sacs, you can use those to get yourself filtered water. So they're pretty good too. So your basic things are food and water, obviously. You don't need to sleep in this game, even though there is a day and night cycle. Let me just organize my inventory a little bit. So I'm going to take water with me. And titanium, I'll continue to pick up titanium, but I'll leave that here at base. Let's go out and I'll show you some of the... Ooh. Yes. I'll drink that water too. I'll show you where we get the rubber from, because that's going to be really important. This game is obviously incredibly beautiful. So it's one of those games that, even though it's in early access development, it's a real pleasure to play. I'm truly enjoying it. And they seem to be pretty open about their development. They publish their I forget the name, but they publish their what they're actually working on at any given moment, and you can go and have a look. It's all open, so you can actually see the stuff they're working on at any given time. Ooh, I'm going to run out of oxygen. I forget how little oxygen. I forget how little oxygen I have, because I've just been playing on my own game, and I have 3 oxygen tanks. So these things here, ooh, let me just get down. These seed clusters, these are the things that I'm going to pick up lots of these, because these you turn into rubber, and rubber's the main thing we need for our tools at the moment. And then quartz is the other thing, so we need to go and find some quartz. Quartz are kind of crystals that you find on the bottom. I'll get quartz first because we need those oxygen tanks. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can't see any. So once we've got our oxygen tanks and our knife, we start to become a bit more self-sufficient. We don't need to worry too much about getting attacked. See, we've lost some health already. Let's use that first aid kit. I'm going to continue to pick up fish where and when I can. And, oops, so this guy, I can use him for... Ooh, can't grab it. They're actually quite hard to grab. I'm going to use him for... there's a quartz crystal there. But I will grab some air first. You see that? Nighttime approaches. And so at nighttime, it's harder to see. You can get a torch, but obviously it's harder to see. It's also more dangerous, so other animals become more aggressive. But where you start, I mean where it first puts you, where it first puts you, so basically the area around your life pod here, there really aren't any animals that are going to hurt you. They're not aggressive, so you don't really need to worry too much about getting hurt. But it's an incredibly beautiful game. It's a pleasure, and it's one of those games that's also very relaxing to play. So I am already a big fan, and because I'm such a fan, yeah, I thought I'd do a let's play and show you guys why I like it so much. It's a rare game that I feel happy to really play for a long time with you, but this is one of them. From what I understand, you also need to vary the food you eat, so you can't just eat one thing all the time. So you have to make sure you have to eat different kinds of fish. So there we go, cooked air sac. And then I could turn this other air sac into more water. Obviously your water runs down quicker than your food. Right, now I should be able to do rubber. Here we go, silicon rubber from those grapevines we just picked up. And they will allow us to build our fins. So the fins we do first. And then, let me just... Okay, so let's do the fins first. There we go, fins. If I just click away, you see, look, there we go, fins. So I've put fins on already. Now let's look at getting an oxygen tank. So what do I need? Titanium times 2 and then glass. So that quartz that we picked up, we can turn into glass like this. And again. You can see it uses power, by the way, this fabricator, and then it charges slowly. So you have to kind of, you can't rush too much. So that titanium I picked up earlier. If we put that titanium back into our inventory like this, we should be able to do our first oxygen tank. There we go. O2 tank. And that sits in our inventory slot instead of on our back for some reason, but that's fine. Okay, let's have a look. Next we need the knife. So we've already got some rubber. Let's take a bit more titanium. Oops. And then we can do our knife. The knife's very important because there are some things that you can't harvest until you have a knife. So, and then the air bladder. Okay, so we need silicon rubber and air sac for that. Let's see. I haven't got another air sac. Let's have a look. Just put my titanium and glass back in. So here we are at night. I need to try and find an air sac at night, which is a bit more difficult. Ah, I see one up ahead. Now if the resolution's a bit off, that's because for some reason, if you run the game in a window like I'm doing at the moment, because I'm on 3 screens, I need to run the game in a window. If you do that, it doesn't let you. Ooh, that animal will hurt you. Ooh, crap. That's coming after me. So this is when you need the knife. And then you can slash at it like this. So you can. They're called a stalker. So you can defend yourself once you've got the knife, like I just did. And then if you've.
Caution. Continued degradation of the aurora's drive core may cause a quantum detonation.
Did you hear that?
Risk assessment. Death by malnourishment. 7%. By physical injury, 11%. By exposure to radioactive crash site materials,
you hear all this?
19%. If the drive core is breached, probability of death.
It's talking about the drive core being breached now. Right, so we've got plenty of space in our inventory. So here we go, that was the night cycle. It's really quite quick. It's already come through. We need to be careful. We need to make sure we are back in our escape pod soon, because something's going to happen. But I'm not going to spoil the surprise for you just yet. These guys are really hard to catch. There we go. We'll get that quartz as well. Let's get back to the escape pod. I think something's going to happen pretty soon. Don't know if I've got enough quartz. I'm going to get another O2. Let's do. What am I doing next? Air bladder. Okay, so silicon rubber, an air sac. There's our silicon rubber. I'll put some titanium in too. Some glass. Okay, so there's our air bladder. And what else did I want to do? Oh yeah, I'll do another O2 tank. So we've already increased our time underwater a lot. So let's just make sure we're fully fed and watered. Here we go. Okay. So if we eat this guy, cooked peeper, and we drink that. There we go. Do another bit of glass from the quartz we have. And some more titanium. I'm going to do a third O2 tank if I can. Let's have a look. Yes. So with 3 tanks you can really dive quite far. So I've got the flippers and I've got as you can see, I've got 3 O2 tanks. It takes up a lot of inventory, but it's worth it, I've found. So let's store the rest of that. There's really nothing else we need. We're fed and watered. So that's pretty much the basics covered now. I've got the basic survival down. So you can see my O2 level is up to 135. Makes a big difference. Because, I mean, you'll see now just how long I'm able to spend underwater now. So I'll just show you. This is how you pick up copper. And you can also pick up titanium this way. So you get rocks on the side of these kind of cliffs, these outcrops, and then there's another kind of ore, silver or gold, that you can get. But you can only get those if basically on a kind of a ledge. I'll come back to this later. I'll show you how to get silver and gold, but those become important later. It's not so much at this sort of early survival stage of the game here. Let's see if we can't find a bit more copper. So I'm just basically going to concentrate mostly on there's copper again. Concentrate on titanium and quartz at the moment. So glass and titanium, they're your two main materials. Now this is under here. You've actually got a brain coral, and these can give you oxygen too. You just need to sit on top of them like so. So next I'm going to build a scanner, and it's also worth building a torch in case I do happen to get stuck outside at night. Now, as far as I can tell, these resources that I pick up, they don't come back to the same area, so you kind of pushed to keep on going further and further from your base, and the further you get from this, by base I mean life pod, the further you get from your life pod, the more dangerous it becomes. So you have a really nice sort of progression / difficulty level going on. I really like the way this game's been designed in that sense. I'll just show you this air sac. So you inflate that at the same time as pressing the button to rise. You see how quickly I came up there? It's very useful. Okay. So the other thing I need to try to find at some point is salt, because when you catch fish and you cook them, if you don't eat them right away, they go bad very quickly. And once they're rotten, you can't eat them. Whereas if you get salt, you can combine it with something else to produce bleach, and bleach you can use to also purify water, and then salt you can also use to cure fish, which means that it lasts much longer. Much longer. Okay, so I can't really see anything else. I can't see any salt at the moment. So let's just head back. Pretty sure something's gonna happen soonish. There's this sort of major event that you need to well, I'm not going to tell you too much about it. Let's wait and see it happen. Let's just cook up what we just collected, so a bit more glass. Now, one fantastic thing about this game that I've only just begun to explore in my own private playthrough, but I'm absolutely loving, is the fact that you can do base building. And I think this is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's the kind of thing that really just adds that final touch to this game for me, the fact that you can do base building. Okay, so the scanner's really important. We need to do one of those, and then there's the flashlight. Both of these are going to require a battery. So the battery, we need to do the battery next. What do we need? For the battery we need more rubber. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So we need copper ore and then acid mushroom times 2. So I just made a mistake by turning that copper ore into copper wire. Let's store all this stuff. So I'm going to need some of that rubber again, and then also, yeah, copper. So that's next on the list of stuff we need to collect. I'll just show you this quickly. The closer you get to this guy, this thing, the more you start.
Warning, local
There you go.
readings exhibit characteristics consistent with total degradation of the aurora's dark matter drive core. A quantum detonation will occur with a probability of 85.5%. Advise observing a 1 kilometer safety range.
So that ship, your mining ship, the thing that you were previously on, that crashed, is radioactive. So the closer you get to that ship, the more dangerous it is, and you start, as soon as you get within a certain range, you automatically start picking up damage. And it also just said that this thing has a very high probability of possibly exploding. And obviously you don't want to be too close when that happens. So let's just see when it happens. I love the effect. You have this kind of these weird alien bird things as the sun, and then you have this other planet, and you sometimes have solar eclipses, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then at night you can see this planet here also lit up. The sunrise and sunsets are gorgeous, and yeah, the moonscape is also pretty special. So again, it's really a pleasure to play. And just as soon as I can, I'll get into the base building, and I'll try and explain all of this game as I play it through. Let's just try and get some food while we're out here. I've got to be careful not to stray too far from the life pod, just in case we get that warning of detonation. Let's grab what we can while we can. Let's get one of these as well. Obviously the slower they are, they're really quite hard to grab. The slower they are, the better they are to grab. I'll grab a couple of these mushrooms. We'll need those for the batteries. They're very easy to find, they're everywhere. So I'll just take 4 of those. And then I've already forgotten exactly what we need for those batteries. What was it, rubber and... no, copper. Let's just have another little look. So the batteries were copper ore and then the mushrooms. Okay, so I've got 4. Got 4 of those mushrooms. Let's just store those. But while we're here, let's just cook up some of these fish. Let's go for the boomerang because that's different. I don't think we've eaten one of those yet. And we'll do a bit more water. So there you go, cooked boomerang. We'll keep the water. Let's have a quick look for some more ore. Let's see if we can't see any more rocks. Now there's no kind of introduction, there's no kind of guide. This really is the kind of game where, very much like The Long Dark, you're just thrown in, you have to find your own way. Which is great, I love it. I love the way you're left to your own devices and you have to, use YouTube and just figure it out as you go along. And the things you need to craft get more and more complicated as you go along too, which is very cool. So that's titanium. So these rocks that are on the side of these outcrops are either titanium or copper. And only titanium and copper, so you don't know what it's going to be until you've cracked it open. Can't really see any more. There are some points where I'm running over there. There are some points where there are loads of them in one place. Again, I just got to be really careful I don't stray too far. But at the same time, there's no indication of when it's actually going to happen, so let's just play on. And it's very relaxing, you know. It is very much like The Long Dark in that respect. When you're not threatened, it's very peaceful. It's very enjoyable. There we go. There's copper. So it's the kind of game that you can just sit with and play, I find. Let's just get our oxygen up. Okay, let's look for some more. Let's get one of those. Oh crap. Here we go. Where's our home? Right. Uh-oh. We're kind of late. Oh shit. I really should be back inside for this. Uh-oh. Time to get back inside quick before we get radiated too much. Oof, we made it. Okay, boys. I think that's it for episode 1. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at Subnautica. And we will continue with this fantastic little Let's Play. I'm really enjoying this in episode 2. I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.